sports are really important vehicles for relationships.
We have purpose. We have a why. We bring people together. We connect.
I feel like God is our greatest supporter and our greatest coach.
Welcome to Rabbi on the Sidelines. This is Rabbi Sherman from Sinai Temple in Los Angeles. This week we are joined by not one, but two unbelievable, inspiring, hopeful athletes who just returned from Paris for the 2024 Paris Paralympics. They are tennis players, Guy Sasson and Adam Berdichevsky. Guy received a bronze medal representing Israel in singles tennis. He participated in the 2020 Tokyo Paralympic Games. And Adam Berdichevsky, 2016 Rio, 2020 Tokyo, 2024 Paris, also a survivor of October 7th of Kibbutz Nir Yitzchak, and the flag bearer for the Israeli Paralympic team in Paris. Live from Houston, Guy and Adam, it is so wonderful to have you on Rabbi on the Sideline. Thank you for taking time to join us.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Of course. And I just want to recognize literally at this moment in a time of war that we come together to talk about sports, to talk about healing, and to talk about how your journeys have been inspired by so many others around the world. I want to give a big shout out to the Israel Parasport Center and to Marsha Rothpan who connected us. And I know that you're in Houston right now and connected to the Beth Yeshurun community. So a very big shout out to my colleague, Rabbi Brian Strauss, and I hope you were able to connect there as well. So we talk about two things. We can use some Hebrew here because we're all Israeli, Jewish, sports, and I talk about Kodesh and I talk about Chol, holiness and ordinary. And the ordinary is often the sports, but I actually think we're going to switch it around today, that the sports is in fact your moments of Kedusha, your moments of sacredness and holiness. So we'll talk a little bit about how you entered the Paralympic world, but before you became para-athletes, what was your sports life living in Israel? Was it Hapoel Yerushalayim? Was it Maccabi Tel Aviv? Guy, what was your sports life before your injury to Paralympic life?
Well, I got injured when I was 35 years old. So before that, as a teenager, I did a lot of sports. I played tennis. I played soccer. I was swimming. I did all type of sports activities. I was pretty active. After the army, I started my life journey, going to the university and school and then work. And since then, I was always interested in sports. I loved soccer. My favorite team is Hapoel Tel Aviv. My favorite sports was always tennis.
And just take us through perhaps the injury. I believe it was a skiing accident. And then at what moment after that accident did you realize that there could be healing through the world of sports that you love so much before your accident?
Well, I think that in the first year or so, or the first 10 months, I went through rehabilitation, and it was pretty intense. While I was doing that, my only goal was to go over the accident that I had and all the challenges that I had to go through. And I think that after I recovered some of them, then I was introduced to the Parasport Center, and that was the first place that I actually was introduced to the parasports. Mm-hmm. And to the different type of the sports that exist for us. And I think that in the first months or so, those were the days that I thought to myself, all right, I found a new home, a new place that I can really go after something that I really like, the sports, and it will benefit me as far as my rehab. I still had a long way to go, and I understood that by doing sports, I'll get better. So I think that was a moment that inspired me.
And Adam, also it's sort of unique to talk to two Paralympics who were not born with a disability, but later in life had that disability. I know it was they have a boating accident with you and your, I believe, girlfriend at the time. And what was your sports life before? Same thing. What was that moment that realized, you know what, sports can actually lead to a path to healing, and not only healing, but great achievement?
Yes, so I was born in the kibbutz. I always did sport, almost every sport that possible. Mostly soccer. My dream was to be a soccer player, not in Hapoel Tel Aviv, in Hapoel Beersheva. Yeah, I didn't do too much for my dream. I think I was pretty good. But I was living in the far from the city, and I didn't want to go out from the kibbutz. So it was like keep only stay as a dream. And after the army, I met there my wife Hila. She was my girlfriend. After the army, we went for a trip, like 1 year trip, Australia, New Zealand, and finally Thailand. And 4 days before we were supposed to go to fly home, the accident happened. Yeah, we were on a yacht, and the ship was sinking, and we jumped from the upper side of the yacht.
Wow.
And I was like slipped too close to the bottom of the yacht, and the motor pulled me, and whatever happened. And yeah, I saved myself with a rope. Put it on my leg, and this is what saved my life. And after the injury, for me it was like a new opportunity to do professional sport. It was like my dream to be a professional soccer or some other sport. And I was just looking for something that I like. I started to do swimming. I was good, but not good enough. It was pretty boring. So I decided to look for something with a ball that I'm better at this. And I really like tennis. So I started 2013. I called to Kobe Wiener, this is his name, and from the Parasport, and he brought me. He said, "Okay, come to play." And since I was sit on the wheelchair, I decided, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to be the best in. And yeah, this is how I go to the tennis.
So you start playing tennis, both of you, but it's not usual that you just get to the Olympics. When did you realize that next step, Guy, that you could not only just play competitive tennis, but compete on a world stage for medals and, let's add it, represent the state and the people of Israel?
So I'll start with the second question. I think that also for Adam, I think that pretty much in the beginning, I understood that we can start competing on the high level scale, and even on the first year when I started, I joined the team while Adam was already a veteran and the leading player at the team, and they took me with them to the World Team Cup, and that was the first time that I actually went on a real tournament. And I kind of was part of the team, but I wasn't good enough, so I saw it from the side. I saw how they played and how they competed, and how the other teams competed, and how important it was for each player to represent his country, and how our team went with a flag and with the symbols and with the jersey of Israel, and it meant so much. So from that point, I understood that competing in the high level is one of the best things for us to do in order to represent our country. At least that's what we can do. And that's at least how I started understanding that this is something that will take me forward. And understanding that I'm going to compete for medals, I think that this is something that started 2 years ago. I was classified to the other division. In the beginning, I started playing at the same division as Adam, which is, you probably will talk about it, but it's for the less disabled players, very difficult category. And 2 years ago, I was classified to the other category, which is the more disabled type of players. And I entered to that category, and I was already a player that had experience and participated in tournaments, and I was playing a good and high level. And entering to that division, I started my journey, and I was able to win matches and tournaments, and one step led to the other, and pretty quick I got to the results that made me understand and had my own expectations that I'm going to go for the medals.
And Adam, journey to the Paralympics, not just to competitive tennis where we go to the park and play against our friends.
Again, sorry.
Yeah, what was the journey to the Paralympics that you knew that you could reach the highest level and not just go to the park and play with your friends from high school?
You need to ask him. You need to ask him on which one. He's going to every. He's That's so true. Good that he's going to all of the Paralympics.
So let's start with Rio, because you said your accident was later in life. So when did you realize that Rio was an opportunity?
So from the start, I started to put myself like small targets. I said, but when I started, I just told myself, okay, I'm going to be good on wheelchair tennis. In 1 year, I'm going. My goal is to be the Israel champion, and I achieved it. I said after 2 years, I want to be in the top 100, and I did it. And my next goal was to qualify for a Rio, and it was like in the last tournament, I did it. I qualified for Rio. It was like, for me, it was a very big thing to represent Israel. I didn't think I can do something I always believe, of course, that I can win, but I was realistic, and for me, it was like pretty much to represent Israel. It was an amazing feeling, and I didn't do really good, but it was, for me, it was the good experience. My next goal was to be in the top 20, and I achieved it just before Tokyo. Again, it was like a big respect for me to represent my country. And in all the other World Team Cups that we participate every year, few with the guy, was like, it's amazing feeling. And Tokyo was pretty sad because they made so much effort, and we play in the big stadiums again. No one, no crowd, so it was like really disappointing for them, for us, but still, it was amazing to represent Israel. And then, the 7th October came. My goal was to be in the top 16 before the Paralympics. And I'm also working as a mechanical engineering, so it was like work and kids and everything together. But I still believed I can be in top 16. But in 7th October, it all changed, the plans. And because all of this, I could just start. I lost all my points. I started to compete only like half year after all the other competitors. And it was also just in the last minute to make the Paralympics, the Paris 2024. And for me, it was like, you probably will ask about but was
we'll talk about that in a minute. Guy, let's talk about Israel and Paris this year, because it was challenging. Obviously, you don't think about that when you read about the war and the events of October 7th. Oh, how is it actually affecting athletes? How did that affect your training leading up to Paris?
It's always in the back of your mind. It sits there. I would say you meet that challenge or that thoughts in different ways. Some of it, you go to a tournament and you hear the news and you have an important match, and just before the match you get the news from Israel about something that happened and about the hostages or about injured soldiers that were injured in last night's activity. You hear the families of the hostages. You get the news all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, to me, it was something that motivated me before the matches. I remember, and I still do, before every match, especially every big match, I was sitting down and watching the news and watching all those videos of what happened in October 7th. And I hear podcasts of families of the hostages and people that were there on October 7th, and it gives me the motivation to play better and to be better, and also I think that even during a match, a match is you go up and down all the time during a match. I think that whenever there is something or there is a situation where you need something to take your thoughts out of the game or to fight for something, then those thoughts come to you and kind of put everything in perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So I find that something that helped me a lot. And on the other hand, it was really important for me, I know also for Adam and for all the athletes that compete, to do well and to represent not just Israel, to represent them and to show them that when we succeed, it gives them a way of hope, to show them that we think about them, to show them that we never let go and they're always on our mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's in the last year, it's part of what we're doing.
So interesting.
In everything that we do, it's out there. And
yeah, often as I've done this podcast for 2 years, people sometimes say that sports is an escape for everything. But I love how you say that actually everything that happened is a motivation to represent something bigger than yourself and, of course, the state of Israel as well. And Adam, you alluded to, and of course, I've read your story and seen your story about October 7th and being in kibbutz near Yitzchak. If you can just share a few moments. You're not only an Israeli Paralympian, but you're an October 7th survivor. What was that story?
Yes, so when just before the 7th, when it was 6 October, we sit with all my family, brother, sister, everyone together. And at night, we decide we have my sister has a boyfriend from kibbutz Be'eri. So everyone decide okay, where we're going to stay tonight. Okay, we go here, they go there. And finally, everyone was in their place. Brothers weren't in the kibbutz, and he was in kibbutz Be'eri. My sister was in my kibbutz in Nir Yitzchak. And in the morning, we wake up for this missile attack. We used to this.
Right.
I know, I mean, it's for 20, 30 years, I don't know how many, but we used to this missile attacks. And this one was, on the beginning, I knew it's something different. Because also we couldn't hear also the Iron Dome anymore, so it was only them, and I knew it's only us and our fortune, because I started to hear the gunshots.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing we did is look at the WhatsApp group of the kibbutz to see where where the Hamas are. In one time, I had to tell my kids, okay, probably they will come. I will hold the door. Won't let them come in, and you just need to be quiet, to hide under the bed. And in this time, also, guys sent me a message. Come to Houston. I told him, I hope I will be alive. If I will be alive, I will come.
That was during what was happening?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was on the flight to Israel at that time, and because of the time change, I got all the news from and I see there's an attack. So
and you're
Adam
on
is the only guy that I know is my friend is living there, so we're texting.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yes. So we just in some time we said okay, let's just pray and hope. So and I see they are in my parents' house. There were a few times they tried to open their door. Fortunately, in our kibbutz, they didn't burn any house, so we were really fortunate, like compared to other kibbutzes. We lost good friends. I lost my neighbor. We lost really good friends that could go and fight and try to to protect us. Still have two friends there, not alive, but still there, hostages. And yeah, we were in the shelter for 14 hours. Then we came out when we could, when it was pretty safe. From there, we evacuated from our house for 2 months in Eilat. Then we decided to order tickets with the help of the Parasport and the Israel Association. And the guy talked to the Jewish community here, and we got a really amazing help here. They gave my kids and led them to study in Beit Yeshurun, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
The people gave us to stay in their house. Yeah, so we've been here for a half year, and like I said, when I got here. I started again to practice, to go to tournaments, and yeah, this is how I could qualify again for Paris. So we came back to Israel to my brother's wedding, then practicing, went to Paris. And I forgot what was the question, but
No. The story is amazing, and I think it's beautiful that it's called Yisrael, that it's all the people of Israel, meaning the Jewish community around the world, that sort of helped you qualify, right? From Eilat, you get to Houston. At Houston, you finally get that stability to qualify.
Yeah.
And then, as we all know, you were the flag bearer for the people of Israel.
Yeah.
What did that feel like? What did that mean to you? And were there any reactions that you saw that you did not expect that were positive when people saw you with that Israeli flag? Other Jewish athletes from other countries coming up to you? What's an experience that we don't know about that you can share with us based on being the flag bearer?
Yeah, so first for your last question, most of the players that I met were pretty much supporting. I mean, I think that the normal people know what's the right side. This is how it feels.
Right.
And for being the flag bearer, it was like when they chose me, it fills me with I don't know, like how would you say this word, like in the body.
בעברית?
What?
בעברית?
בעברית, צמרמורת.
Like an inner feeling.
Yeah. So it was I was really expecting for that. And I want to add, like for what Guy said before, I think one of the reason that I could only in half year I could qualify is really from this place that usually if I lose, okay, I'm really disappointed. And now after I lose, it's like whatever, I lose. I mean, I lose, and the hostages are there, so let's take things proportion, and I think one of the two of the most important things for me were to really to represent Israel and like especially my people from my area that suffered and still suffering all this. And it's really important for me to show the injured soldiers
Mm-hmm.
what they can be. I mean, not everyone get to be a Paralympic participate in the Paralympics, but it gives hope and it gives the strength for them to see that for every injury they can go to come to the sport, and it's the change from like being depressed and being like something that gives you hope.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was amazing to step there in front of this in the ceremony, and most of the crowd was supporting. There were a few like pro Palestine, but it's like was nothing. The stadiums were full. The 30 kids from my kibbutz came to
Wow.
cheer me and others.
Wow.
Thanks
That's
to
amazing.
Elal and the Parasport and Keren Ayasod, if you know, and they brought them there to also to go to Disney, to Eiffel, and it was amazing feeling for them. The best thing was to come to be in the stadium to cheer the
Mm-hmm.
sports player. But yeah, it was like a really no words how amazing was it for me to represent
Amazing.
everything.
And let's talk about Los Angeles. That's where I'm sitting, and that's the next Paralympics. It seems like it's such a far off time in 4 years, but it really isn't. And now that we're in this post-October 7th world, what does it mean to train the next generation of para athletes? And how do you see yourself involved with that, Guy?
Well, that's a difficult question. We're talking about 4 years from now. 2 weeks ago, we competed in
Yeah.
the Paralympics in
I'm
Paris.
sorry. I'm excited. It's in our backyard. We're ready for you.
And trust me, we're excited too, because we're sitting here in Houston, and everyone are talking about that, and have a lot of expectation towards LA 2028. But as far as competing in LA, I haven't decided yet. I just I want to kind of see where I'm at in few months, and see how's the level of my game. As long as I'll be as long as I can compete and get good results, and have a chance to go for medals or for Grand Slams titles, I think I will continue. But I think it's a bit too early. We put so much effort and so much time and so much adrenaline in Paris 2024 that now just everything is sinking. We're kind of relaxing and kind of trying to see where we at.
Do you have the bronze medal with you there by any chance?
Yeah, do you want to see it?
Yes, we do. We do. That would be amazing. And just as you get that medal, what is it like to stand on this stage, not just to compete, but in fact to, it looks like it's in a safe, what's it like to stand on the actual podium receiving that medal? It's different
than anything from anything else that I've experienced. In the last year, I had some experience of winning a Grand Slam or getting to the finals in others, and it's considered to be one of the top stages of our sports. And having said that, still going to the Olympics and on your way to the podium, seeing your flag, the flag of Israel goes up. and you get the medal, and you know, inside you understand, and you know how much it means for everyone else. It's like a dream come true, and at least I'm happy that it made so many other people happy.
Yeah.
Because that's, I think, is the biggest difference between competing in a Grand Slam and winning a title or competing in the Olympics. And I thought, getting into the Olympics, I thought it's not bigger than the Grand Slam. Today, where I'm at, I'm telling you, the Olympics is way bigger. You don't compete for yourself. You compete for your country. It's totally different.
Let's see the hardware.
All right, so it comes like this.
Wow.
It comes in the box like that, and then.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Wear it well, Shehechianu, and especially. Amen, amen. I think it's the first Shehechianu's ever done after a medal in the Olympics. And what is the message to this younger generation of Jews outside of Israel that, you know, a lot of Jews in America, as you're probably knowing, love sports, involved with sports, kids playing basketball, tennis, soccer, whatever it is, that they too can represent their people. In fact, even in Israel, because we have the ability to make Aliyah, to represent that, especially after October 7th. Where do you see this connection of sports and faith coming together? Maybe Adam, start with you.
Yeah. So first about about LA. So I'm going to try my best. Of course, I need. I don't know if about the work, about the.
Adam is still young. He has so many Paralympics ahead of him. So for sure, he's going to LA.
Well, I hope that we're part of that journey.
When I keep improving, then I keep playing.
Beautiful. It's a great lesson in life.
Yeah. If I can manage, you know, with the life, because I'll probably need some support, some other support to do this, because I don't know what's going to be with work and everything. If I can get this from somewhere, then I will probably keep playing. About excuse me, what was the question? Sorry,
so often on this show I talk about how sports and faith come together. Emunah v'sport b'yachad. Is Emunah part of your journey through what you've been through, both in the tennis world and now obviously in the October 7th world, or are they separate?
So I don't know what you were asking about Emunah. So my Emunah is, you know, I believe in people. I believe in good things, and it's connected. It's connected with the, like you said, with the faith and believe and. I really don't know how to answer because because I don't really understand the question.
I can tell you that your story has given a lot of people outside of Israel an emunah that we were looking for. So I want to. You don't have to answer it. I think because you are in fact that emunah that we are looking for, and we don't have to look for it only on a battlefield. We can look for it on a tennis court. That is a type of field that really represents something bigger.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I believe that I have lots of faith in me, and I see the people around me. I see the people like that suffers, and I feel that I can make good for other people. You know, everyone has to believe, but if what I'm doing help other people and give them like hope and give them like a direction, so I'm happy I can do it. Yeah.
Beautiful. And to conclude, I want to ask both of you, we're just days before Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, the holiest days of the year in the Jewish calendar. Last year we stood here and we couldn't imagine hostages still being taken. We couldn't imagine a war in Gaza, and who knows what's happening with Lebanon literally at this moment. We couldn't imagine over 1,000 people not losing their lives, but murdered by evil and terrorists. But at the same time, we have Rosh Hashanah, which is a new beginning. What is your hope for us? Because in this new year ahead, tennis, Israel, yourself, what's the hope for us that you're going to tell us today?
I will start. I will start. I think for me, Houston is very nice to me. The Jewish community, all the Jewish, I think in the world, like you see that's supported. I wish for myself to be back home. I wish for the people in the north of Israel to be back home, to be safe. I wish for us, for everyone, to win. For me to win this war is to get all the hostages back, and everyone can come back to their home. And I believe that the justice will be there.
Amen.
For every one of us.
Amen. And Guy?
Yeah, I just hope and wish that all the hostages will come back home alive. And I just wish the families of the hostages and the families of the people that got murdered on October 7th, and the families of the soldiers that unfortunately got injured. I wish for them to have some peace and quiet, and hopefully they'll be able to, you can never get over it, but in some way get back to life, and I hope that they will know that we love them and we wish them all the best, and they're in our hearts forever.
And so every day I wear this. I received it when I went to Israel in May in the area of the Gaza border. Biyachad Nanetzach. It's not just a war, but together as a people of Israel, with what you both are doing, using your platform to speak for the people of Israel, for the state of Israel, and Adam, as you said, for humanity. Biyachad Nanetzach. Together, that is the way to victory, to goodness, and ultimately to shalom of peace. We are really excited and honored that you were able to join us, Guy Sasson and Adam Berdichevsky, Israeli tennis Paralympians, Giborim, truly heroes of our people. Guy and Adam, it's so wonderful to have you, and we look forward to seeing you in LA in 2028. Have a great day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.